Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be showing you everything you need to know to be able to play Highground in Duo Endgames for the upcoming Duo Victory Cups. We'll be going over how you can actually take Highground and then how you can play it correctly so you don't lose it and no one steals it off you. Before we get into it, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and use creator code Coach Philip in the item shop. And let's get right into it. We're going to be checking out the latest Duo Victory Cup and looking at a team that placed 47th right here because they played really consistent. They got top 2-3 times and they won one game. So let's take a look at that game right here. So we're in 50-50 zone right here, and these people are going to zone right here. And let's start with talking about how you want to actually get high ground. So there are three main things how you can get high ground. First of all, if you pull zone. Second of all, if you just fly straight to the front of zone and then build up, or you land on a mountain on the front of zone and then get it easier. Or number three, you steal it from someone that is already on high ground. So of course, the easiest is if you pull zone. Usually you don't want to go for high ground before the moving zones because it's not worth it. You won't have enough mats. So usually use your movement, get into that 50-50 zone. And now if you pull zone in 50-50 zone, that's an easy high ground take. Like if zone would pull back here, for example, this team literally could just build metal out of the top and then take high ground that way. So that's an easy way you can get high ground, which you probably already know. And now let's move on to the other two, how you can take high ground by getting to the front of zone. So for example, if you see that zone is pulling up to a mountain like this, of course there's already people on here, but if it would be a smaller mountain or no one's on there yet, then always use your jetpack or whatever movement is in right now. You can use that to fly ahead or just tarp ahead like this guy right here. He just flew on top, land on a high layer, and then you can literally just build up again like they're doing right here and establish a pretty nice position and take high ground pretty easily that way. To be able to do that, you have to be very aware of zone. So you gotta always be constantly having the IGL looking where is zone pulling, what is the terrain like. And if you have the option, if you have enough mats to take high ground there, then you can just fly ahead and literally just build up. That's another reason why you want to be rotating as early as possible in endgame, because you get the possibility to take high ground. But of course, you could also go late and then land on someone that's on height, but that's a bit more risky. And now let's move on to the ways you can get high ground by stealing off of people and what's important to do that. First of all, let's take a look at how this team gets high ground here in a sec. So they literally just fly ahead, and a really cool tactic I didn't know about, but that you can do if you didn't know, super important. If you're playing endgame in these big woods with these giant trees, then you can literally fly onto a tree that basically then hits you off like this guy did with the jetpack. So the jetpack cancels, and then you can literally just connect to that tree and then connect to these other trees. So you're basically safe by connecting to trees, which I didn't know yet. So really good strat from them. They see this and they go ahead. They're already in zone. Really good play by this guy. He already connects to the second tree and he uses the time, if he probably has medkits or something, so he can walk in zone a bit. Don't be scared of zone. If zone pulls onto a mountain, for example, and you land in zone and then build up, that's really smart. Or you connect to a mountain that's in zone and then just tarp into where your teammate's gonna land. So that's how they get high ground right here, and let's look ahead a bit. So here's some different ways how you can take high ground. Of course, you can land on them, usually not the best strat because you will get pumped, but the thing you want to do to play high ground is play second height, because it's pretty hard to get high ground from low ground. You have to build up way more than if you're on second height. So try to play a high layer in these moving zones if possible. So ideally jetpack or whatever, land on someone, land on a mid layer, and then you have the possibility to take high ground later. Here it's going to be hard to take high ground from them because they are connected to the trees and they're super high up. So really good position from them. But in other cases, if you manage to get second height, always have an eye on the high ground team. So the IGL should be looking at the high ground team and looking towards the next rotate, and the other player can just keep looking for kills and playing that. Then once the IGL sees an opening, for example, if they're on second height, they see, okay, high ground's distracted right now, or they're only connected to one layer. Here, this high ground team is playing it pretty good, so they're connected to more. We'll get into that in a sec. But if you notice, high ground team is only connected by one, or they're building out of wood, so they don't have a lot of mats, or they're both just spraying someone and not looking at you at all, then you can take high ground. Like here, for example, if you're on this right-hand side, like this team right here, they can't see that from the top because they are literally above them. So if you build out to the side here, for example, and then go up behind them, you can take high pretty nicely. especially if you have maybe floppers or medkits. You can go for a zone play, go out of zone, go up behind them, and then sneak up and take high ground pretty easily, maybe beam them in the back, get an easy kill. So always look for the high ground team being distracted. That's your cue to go up then. That's how you can easily take high ground. Or of course you can look to chop them down. Or like we already said, you can go to front side and then just literally build up here. They're way too high, so you won't be able to do that. But if high ground isn't that high and you literally just land on a mountain in front or on a tree here, then you can take high ground that way. So yeah, that's the different ways how you can take high ground. Now let's get into how you want to be playing high ground correctly so no one steals it off you. So this is really nice. You want to definitely be connected by more than one layer. So you want to be 2 cones, or you do a floor and a cone. Just make sure you are not building out of single wood or whatever. Be on hard mats, and always in between you want to connect to stuff. Like here, they're really nicely connected. They're connected to three trees. If you don't have any tree, you just want one of you to drop down and connect to someone that is on second height, for example. And then it's super important that you pressure the second high ground team, because that's the team that usually looks up the most, because they have the shortest path to you. So instead of just spraying random people, always look at the team that is on second height. And one thing that they are not doing right here, which I personally think helps a lot, is building around the left side of Storm. So if you stay on this left side, you have a right-hand peak so you can see more on the whole lobby. Because now here, they're basically just blocking their whole view, looking down the right, and they have no idea what's going on here. So if this team wants to look for high ground, they could probably just tarp up if they're aware, which they're probably not here because this team stays on high ground. But if these 2 players were aware of high ground just spraying these kids right here, they could easily go up and no one would probably notice, or before it's too late. So stay on the left side ideally, and always look at second height, and don't just focus on one team. Don't neglect any other team. You want to be fully aware, especially one person, the IGL should be fully aware of what is going on so no one sneaks up, because that's what happens in most cases. You're not aware, someone sneaks up behind you, okay, high ground got taken, you're both dead, and you just wasted a game which you could have easily won. Now, if you're that second high ground team, what you can do to take height is build right underneath high ground here, for example, or maybe it just happens that you're right underneath them, that you're on second high, and then you can literally just build up below them. They're spraying here, you go up behind them, get an easy kill, and take height. That's the most important things on playing high ground. Always make sure you're connected, hard mats, and you're looking at second height. That's basically everything you need to do, so nothing can go wrong. Now, what I see happening a lot the later you get into the game is that you don't have enough mats anymore, which is completely normal. If you've played height for the whole endgame, you will not have enough mats at the end, usually. So what you want to be doing is not playing too high. You want to be above second height, and then if you notice, okay, I only have 200 more mats or whatever, and I can't really connect, like here they can connect really nicely. It pulls up to a mountain, so everyone's probably going to die on low ground. But if you don't have enough mats, try to box fight second height. Try to drop down, try to pressure second height, try to box fight them, drop in front of them, pre-box them, just pressure them really nicely, because that's the team you're going to be able to get the loot from quickly. If you kill someone if you're just spraying random people and you kill someone on low ground, you're probably not going to be able to get those mats. But try to stay on top as long as possible, because that's the easiest thing you can do. So if you still have above 200 mats, I would recommend keep playing high ground. And for here, for example, they're already pre-built things. So if you don't need the mats, don't risk it, just stay on top, spray everyone, and secure the easy win. And in this game, the zone pulls onto a mountain in a sec as well, so it's going to be easy win for the high team right here. So they just keep spraying, pulls onto this ridge. You can try to block people off right here, just spray them down, make it hard for them to come up, and now everyone's in zone. And they just need to block that off, damage him a bit, try to get the kill. Pretty easy win for them here. Yeah, and they get an easy win by just playing high ground smartly and using that nice tactic to get on high ground. If you have any more questions, just comment down below. I'll be happy to help you. And if you want me to VOD review or have any specific questions, join my Discord and drop me a DM. I'll see you in the next one.